Okay, this is how you're going to cut your panels when you are installing them around the home. Regardless of what you've learned or taught yourself or have been taught before, I want you to go through the process just as you hear it this time. And I want you to do it this way to try to ensure that we are cutting our panels properly so that we don't have wasted material. We've been having too many wasted pieces of metal because the cuts are incorrect, or we're having to go back and cut the top off because the measurements aren't landing properly. So the premises of what we're doing is, if you have the home, and this is the home that we're looking at, and then we're going to install the skirting around the home. The skirting is going to follow this line, and that will be straight all the time. However, the ground will not be straight, and the ground will actually move, and so you'll have pieces that are larger on one side than they are on the other. And so every 36 inches, we get a measurement of this metal, and this measurement is your left, this one is your right. On this piece, so that's piece number one, left measurement, right measurement. Piece number two, the right measurement on piece number one becomes the left measurement for piece number two, and then the right measurement. Piece number three, left, right. Piece number four, left, right. Piece number five, and so on. And so you're actually getting these different measurements. So if you look here, you're going to be provided with a sheet of paper that has left and right with spots to mark them. So the left measurement being 31, right measurement being 32. So on piece number one, this is a 31 measurement and a half, and this is a 32 measurement. On piece number two, that 32 translates to over here. That's your first left, and then your right. So 32 would be your first left, your left measurement for piece number two, and 34 and a half would be your measurement for the right for piece number two. And so that's how you're going to transcribe all of those measurements onto your paper here. This will be your setup that you want to have. So you're going to have your chopper down here at one end. You'll have your table attached to that. You're going to have your board with your measurements on it, and then your panels here. Now make sure that when you lay your panels out this way, that you have your left on this side and your right on this side. So this will be left, this will be right. The way that you tell the difference between those is right here. If you look at the very end of the metal, you're going to have the ridges. The left side has no wing on it. The right side will have a wing. So whenever you measure, whenever you lay these out, the part with no wing on it needs to go on this side. The part with the wing on it goes on the other side, and that's called the right side. So this will be your left, this will be your right. So you'll take a piece from here, move it into the chopper. If this is a painted piece of material, do not drag it. It needs to be picked up and moved. If you drag it, you will put a scratch across the entire length of the metal, and then the homeowner has the right to request new metal. And we don't want to do that. So make sure you pick it up and move it so that we preserve the paint that's on the outside of each one of those pieces of metal. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your left measurement. Don't start on the right side. Always start on the left side. You're going to transcribe 31 and a half. So you're going to measure 31 and a half inches, and you're going to make a mark. And if you're looking at the ridge, you're going to make a mark right on the top of that ridge right there. And that's this mark right here. The next one is 32. That's going to be over here on this side, but you're not going to run around to that side and mark it yet. All you're doing at this point is determining which measurement is the longest, 31 and a half or 32. In this case, 32 is the longest measurement. So you're going to add 1 inch to that, and you're going to mark 33. So you have a 31 and a half measurement, and you have a 33 measurement. And then what you do is between those two, this will eventually become trash. You're going to mark on the side, right here on the side of that ridge, you're going to mark 33. Okay, and then from this mark, you're going to start with your next piece, which will be 32 and 34 and a half. So 32 inches down from here, 32, and then 34 and a half is the larger measurement. So you're going to say 35 and a half because you're going to add 1 inch to that larger measurement. So you're going to go to 35 and a half, and then you're going to mark that right here. But in between those two marks, and that's eventually going to be trash. The next one is 34 and a half and 35. So you're going to go down 34 and a half from this second measurement, and you don't have enough here for another piece, so this is all going to become trash, so you don't have to make another mark. At that point, you're going to come around to the right side, and you're going to take your first right measurement, which is 32, and then you're going to look across here, and you're going to see that you made another mark at 33, so you'll make that mark as well. Your next right measurement is 34.5, and you're going to see that you made a mark at 35.5. And then your next measurement is going to be 35. And so you're going to mark it at 35. When you cut these, this cut here is the one that follows the terrain. This cut here puts this top back at 0. So now we have another flat top, so that this top of part 2 is actually flat and can follow home. Then you make the next cut, and then the next cut, and then this all becomes trash. And this is trash. And then you make this cut here, and then this here becomes trash. Okay, and so you're going to have your 3 cuts. The top of each one of these will be set at 0, so that way the tops here will follow the line of the house. The bottoms are the ones that are actually angled, and that will follow the contour of the terrain. And if you'll follow those steps, we should be able to land all of our cuts right at the top without having to go back and spend any time cutting off the tops with the shears, so that it's not in the way whenever we put the top rail on. And we should be able to minimize any waste of material.